everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last. I am Sick Josh, and with me today I have backwards hat wearing Joe.
Hey, man.
And
bruh,
sweater wearing Claire.
Hey.
I just figured I had once I said I was sick, I had to tell everybody every other detail you guys had. Every detail.
to really set them in the room,
Yeah.
get a vibe of what's going on.
I know
in
it's
here.
an audio podcast, but now they got a real visual. Like, I'm sick, you're wearing a hat, and
Well,
Claire's wearing a sweater.
You guys have tweeted out a picture, and I got comments like, that's not what I thought Josh and Jimmy looked like. Like, they knew Joe.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, lol.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what they look like.
I don't think if you ever, I mean, it'd be really impressive if you really just ever heard people's voices and you were like, nailed it. That's exactly what I thought they looked like. I feel like no one really.
Yeah. I feel like when I've like seen people that I've like heard on the radio, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's not at all what I thought they looked like.
Like I mean, it's going to be hard to pretend, but close your eyes and like listen to, hear Vin Diesel's voice in your mind.
Uh-huh.
Is that what he looks like to you?
I can't
Well,
think of Vin Diesel's
Do you
voice
know?
right
Do you know the NPR like commentator Diane Rehm?
Nah.
So Diane Rehm has like a like vocal cord issue. Like she has to get treatment. But she probably sounds like she sounds like an older woman. So as a kid, my parents listened a lot to NPR, and my dad had a picture of Diane Rehm next to his desk, and she was like a happening lady. And I remember my dad telling me like, that's what Diane Rehm looks like, and I was like, oh my gosh, people on the radio do not sound like look like what I think they should.
now. Why does he have a picture of like NPR lady at his desk?
You know, we don't
Scandalous.
question my dad and his motives. And his desk is he likes a lot of stuff around his desk.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the weird things you could find at his desk.
Mm-hmm.
I could list more, but I feel like that's personal, and he maybe listens to this podcast. I don't know. Dad, you out there?
Tweet at us if
Listening?
you're out there.
Age-old question. Dad, are you out there? Speaking of dads, today we're watching Daria.
Cool.
Are there dads in this?
She has a dad, so
Okay.
that's how this correlates. Daria, an MTV show. It's a cartoon, like Beavis and Butthead,
Yeah.
because that's also just a cartoon show.
Well, she started out as a Beavis and Butthead character.
did
right?
she?
Yeah, she was like their neighbor.
Ah, there you go.
Mhm.
I accidentally did that on purpose. It went on for 5 seasons.
What years?
1997 to 2002.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's later than I thought it went.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think when you hear 2000, you just hear the word 2000. You're like, man, that was a lot farther, like in the future than I kind of thought. And then
Mhm.
you're like, that was 18 years ago.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
almost 20 years ago.
Well, this is in the span of time where I didn't have cable, and so I have never
It's a blind
seen
spot
this
for you?
show. I mean, it wasn't a blind spot for like network TV, but for
Yeah.
MTV, I didn't really watch it.
97 to 2002. Essentially, not yet in college. Therefore, I still had cable because my parents had cable.
You didn't have cable at college?
No, I haven't had cable television since I've moved out of my parents' house.
But like, what college did you go to where they don't have cable? We had like a slew cable.
Did
network.
you guys have TV?
I mean,
Question mark.
yeah.
Were you not allowed?
We all played Halo all the time. There
Oh.
was so much Halo happening. We just watched movies and played video games like I do today. There was there was a TV in the what is it, the social area or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, all those places. There's TVs all around that had cable and stuff, but
Okay, but you're not just gonna
But not in your dorm room?
I
sit
don't-
down and
I
watch
mean-
some Daria or something.
I guess I can't be 100% positive, but I'm 90% positive. No, I don't think we plugged into the wall and had cable. I don't
Did
think
you
so.
have
Yeah.
cable?
We did, but I never really watched TV in college either.
If you sitting around watching TV, just yo, I gotta.
We watched some weird TV. It was we had
We all watched Smallville together on DVD in college.
wow.
I remember keeping up with The Office in college, but that's about it.
Well, anyway, back to Daria. I know nothing about it. Do you guys know a lot about it?
I was pretty into it. I don't know that I've ever seen the first or last, but
I mean, she's what I know about Daria is she is a, what is it? What's the British term for comedy? What do they do? Like a dry.
Dry?
Just like a dry, monotone She's kind of like she's like a goth chick, but she wears green clothes. You know, she's like, I don't care about anything.
Who plays her
whatever.
voice? Like, is there a famous actress? Like, am I gonna hear Daria and be like, oh, that's Daria's voice?
I mean, it says starring Tracy Grandstaff.
Yeah, that's probably Daria.
And I'm assuming that's Daria. She played portraying Daria Morgendorfer. That was Daria's last name, by the way. Morgendorfer.
I like it.
So whoever Tracy, literally on Wikipedia, she doesn't even have a picture. So, she played Daria in Beavis and Butthead and Daria. She played Daria in video games. She is known best for her portrayal as Daria.
Okay. So it's just one lady that's Daria.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is like a high school that this girl's in?
Yeah, she's in high school.
So it's like a high school girl and like dealing with high school drama.
Sure.
Is
Yeah.
it like family drama or school drama most of the time?
I think everything about Daria is drama.
Okay. I think I'm going to like this.
I
Yeah.
mean, as in like, she's like, ugh, I hate everything. I just feel like that's the tone of Daria.
Yeah,
This is
it's
like,
I feel like it's very of its time because it's like late 90s where just like everything was so like NSYNC and Britney Spears and superficial and like coming out of like the grunge of like the early to mid 90s. And so I feel like this is kind of like a reaction to that.
Okay.
So imagine just Daria just like kind of scoffing at everything around her.
Yeah, there'll probably be some sort of like social commentary, like maybe in the background a little bit, but I bet there'll be something about the music and the youth of the time.
Well, it's on MTV. So like
Yep.
I would assume that they're like trying to reach a specific audience.
I don't know anything about. I'm wondering whether or not Beavis and Butthead. Do you think they'll be in the first episode?
I doubt it.
You think they won't? Maybe like they just walk around in the like. I could see them just walking in the background. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I'll
there's-
say they'll be in it.
I think they're just gonna be.
Would it
some
have does it
sort
have to be
of-
both of them?
I would count Beavis and or Butthead.
Okay.
I don't think I know which one's which.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right.
I wouldn't know which one's which. I just think there might be like maybe like a slight nod just for fun. Like I
Okay.
don't think they're gonna like walk through the halls and be like, I am Cornholio. That's what they do, Claire.
I didn't see that either. I'm so sorry.
I saw Beavis and Butthead like twice. I mean, I saw it more than that, but I remember seeing it like in my grandma's like basement, and it was on, and I was watching it. But this is before like '97. I'm 12 when Beavis and Butthead was on before that, so I'm probably like 9 or 10, and I was like, I'm not supposed to be watching this.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way I'm supposed to be watching this MTV cartoon. It's lewd.
This guy's name is B-Head. Can't be watching this.
I bet you Jimmy is like listening to this right now and being like, I have so many things to say about Daria and Beavis and Butthead. Sorry, Jimmy, I don't really have any connection. I'm trying to be
I think you're
a
gonna.
strong fill-in.
I actually think you're gonna really like this.
All right, cool.
I mean, just like the tone and everything. I think you're gonna dig Daria.
Claire, how do you feel about animation in general?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
I hate cartoons.
Oh, so well, that's gonna hurt.
I mean,
This.
it's not that I hate them. I just haven't found any that I like.
What have you watched?
Run
Run us through your cartoon history.
like Rugrats. That's the last thing that I
or
can
even just
remember.
like
Doug.
animated movies.
You don't
not
like
very
Animated
into.
movies.
You don't
I
like
haven't
Doug?
seen. I mean, sure, it's fine, but I don't. I like real people. Cartoons kind of freak me out. They make me nervous.
Have you dabbled in any Japanese animation?
Only when Nick's around and it's like on. Like,
Fair enough.
Only when Nick's around and it's on.
yeah, because you guys will play it. Like, that's the only time I've ever really watched it.
So you don't like Yuri on Ice, is what you're saying?
I mean, I'd be interested in seeing it. I guess I don't know.
We should get you on. We should get you watching some Cowboy Bebop or something. Do you appreciate music in TV shows?
Absolutely.
Okay. I think there's a lot of animes that could get you.
I mean, my students have been trying for years to get me to watch more animated movies and cartoons and things. They're really interested in it, but I don't know. But this is going to change my mind, I'm sure.
It's fine.
I'm
Well, I
sure.
mean, there is a big difference between like this is a cartoon. Like, it's probably more for high school kids and younger college kids, maybe something like that. I don't know, or just like people that like Nirvana that were 35 back in 2002, probably something like that. But
I can't wait to like see what we were mad about in 1997. Like, if this character is like mad at the world. Like, what were we so angry about? Because after today, I'm just like really mad at
I'm
the
gonna say,
world.
like, I bet a lot of this like still resonates.
Okay.
For Daria.
I don't know anything like. I mean, I've seen Daria episodes, but I wouldn't be able to tell you like what the first episode's plot was with the last episode.
Yeah, same.
Kind of like the main like story of Daria. I'm assuming Daria is an unpopular girl. She has a mom and a dad, and she probably has an annoying younger sister. I'm gonna go younger sister, and she has like one friend, and that one friend is like weirdly popular. You know, like she's more popular than Daria. No,
Joe,
that
when
can't be
you're
true.
agreeing, are you like, is he like right?
Yeah, all those things are right except for the stuff about Jane at the end.
Oh,
Is that her? Is that her
That's
friend?
the friend? Yeah.
you know
Is she,
so much.
Is she like a bookworm nerd?
Daria is.
Yeah. So is
Yeah, Jane's like, they're both outsiders, but Jane's a little bit more edgy, I guess. A little more goth, a little more scene.
I think either Jane or Daria are gonna kiss a boy in the first episode. That's my
Ooh.
first episode prediction.
Ooh.
Don't think that's gonna happen, but man, I want to point just for that. I want to reach for the stars this season.
Get those points.
I mean, as your season 2 champion of first and last,
I feel like she'd be more likely to punch a boy than kiss a boy based on what you're saying.
yeah, I
Especially
think so.
she
I think
sounds
so too.
mad.
That's why I'm reaching for the stars.
Okay, reach for him.
Kissing, Jane or Daria kissing.
Oh, you like are expanding it from just Daria?
No, I said Jane or Daria are kissing a boy.
So a friend.
They could kiss a girl too. I don't care who they kiss.
It's in 1997. It's a boy.
Yeah, but it's 2018, so I don't care who they kiss.
It's animated, so it doesn't count.
That's why they freak me out.
Yeah. Wait, are you creeped out by cartoons?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, this is way more interesting than not liking cartoons.
No, they kind of creep me out.
Why? Do you have a reason?
It's not real. It's just like something about like the voice and the animation.
TV's not real. What do
I
you mean?
understand it's like acting, but yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I know. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
I think I'm gonna write down a couple questions about this while we watch the first episode of Daria. Do you got anything else, Joe?
Nope.
Yeah. What do you think the episode's gonna be about?
I mean, is it gonna be like, she's new at school? Because that seems to be.
Nah, I don't think so.
You think they just dive right in?
I think they're in school. Probably a sophomore or junior. She's not new to high school. She's not graduating high school.
Yeah, I bet they're not necessarily new, but there's some sort of like big social event like homecoming or something.
Wait, but time out. Does she ever graduate high school, or is it like she's perpetually in high school?
I don't think this is like The Simpsons. Like, like they're all the same. They're the same age for 35 years.
But it's a cartoon, so like
they could.
I don't know. I'm questioning.
Save that for predicts, I think.
Oh man, Joe knows all the answers.
Joe knows all the answers.
I'm gonna read your facial expressions so I can make the right picks.
Backwards hat Joe knows everything. All right, let's get into this. I'll be back, listeners, with a full report on how creeped out Claire is with animated people, and we will talk about the first episode of Daria after this. And we're back from Daria, episode 1.
I'm a little short for this microphone. Okay, I'm good.
You've pinned yourself against the back of the chair with the microphone.
I'm trying to have good posture.
Claire's new around here.
She's new around these parts. Speaking of being new around here, we watched the first episode of Daria entitled Esteemsters. And I got a little Wikipedia write-up, and it goes a little like this. Daria Morgendorfer moves with her family from Highland, Texas, to a mid-Atlantic suburb called Lawndale, where she finds her sister gains instant popularity. Unaccustomed to her intelligence and sarcastic wit, Lawndale High School gives Daria a psychological exam because they assume she has low self-esteem and assign her to a special class for kids with low self-esteem. There she meets student artist extraordinaire Jane Lane, a girl who shares her sense of humor, her disdain for suburban banality, and her love for the fictional tabloid TV show Six Sad World.
Six Sad World.
Six Sad World. And that's what happened in this episode. Thank you for listening. We will see you in the finale. Just kidding.
Hilarious.
I'm so funny. What do we think? Thoughts? Claire, Were you scared from these animatronic people?
I wasn't scared. I mean, like, there's
They're not
certain things that
animatronic,
do bother
animated.
me, like the hair not moving. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't
Why
like.
doesn't their hair move?
No, it's just like things about cartoons just creep me out. But I would say that this is funny. I liked it. It was good times.
You lolled.
Did I?
You yelled, you lulled, you yelled at the screen.
I do that. I emote.
You're one of those people that goes to like the movie theaters, like, don't go in there.
No, I'm not.
You know?
But I am the
No.
person.
Oh no, she's not gonna do that.
No, I'm gonna jump and scream. Like that's what I do too early, and that's why I can't see horror movies in like a cinema.
So you're saying
In a cinema?
Can't do
in
it.
a cinema. So you're saying in October you don't watch scary movies?
Like Joe likes to watch them,
All month. All spooky month.
and I'll like ask that the lights are on and stuff like that. And like I'll watch them, but I'm more analytical when I watch them. I don't know.
It's easy to be an outsider looking in and know what to do, Claire.
Yeah.
When a man's in your house with a big knife and he's trying to kill you, and he can't be killed by modern technology
Oh
or
my
anything
God.
else besides some sort of mystical skull that you have to crush that's in like the rainforest, it's a lot harder to get away.
Yeah.
Which one's that? I haven't seen it.
That's the
Skull Crusher?
season 1 finale of Pie World.
Oh yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, that show goes off the handles. So there was people in the show. Daria, that was a girl in the show. She met her friend Jane. What do you think the social commentary was for episode 1? What do we think it was? You think it was like it was one of those? I almost got like the feeling it was like when kids were growing up and everyone was special. You know,
A little bit, because
it was like the anti everyone special.
the episode was called Esteemsters.
Yeah,
And it was surrounding people thinking that Daria had low self-esteem.
for just because she like wasn't trying to fit in, essentially.
Right. And I think that's the point, is that Daria actually has good self-esteem. It's these other people who are trying so hard to make friends and fit in who actually have low self-esteem.
Yeah.
I thought it was just also interesting that her parents were so like aggressive, and the parents of the 90s where I told you you're special. You're very special. Like, you know you're special, but what's wrong with you that you don't realize that you're special? And it's, yeah, man.
Some true Claire aggression coming out right now.
I'm just a little angry about the parenting style in this. But yes,
Well,
it's just.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be
Oh,
obviously very ironic about.
It was spot on. Spot on. I don't know what the new style of parenting. I read some news article recently that was like the new parent is a lawnmower parent.
The hell does that mean?
I know. I had to look it up. So a lawnmower parent isn't like this kind of parent where that's like blaming the kid. The lawnmower parent like mows the lawn in front of the kid and makes sure there's no problems for them. Like the teachers and the parents are like, the teachers are getting emails like you have to come to the office because this parent is here and it's like a big deal, and the parent will have like a bottle of water because their kid does not want to drink fountain water. Like, it's those kind of parents that are like fixing every problem for kids. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but that's apparently the new parenting trend.
Well, I mean, you deal with parents, right? So have you seen that?
I don't deal with I deal with predominantly parents that are low income, so it's kind of a different situation. We don't get a lot of those trends for
So
parenting.
more like weed
styles.
whacker parents.
No, we have parents that are trying to do their best, and a lot of times they don't have what
Like, we'll
they
just trim
need.
up the edges here, I guess.
No, I mean, I think that's the thing. It's like schools have gone from it's all the kids' fault. Like, what are you doing wrong? Why aren't you studying? To now it's like, oh, the teacher must not be teaching you. They don't. But man, the teachers in this episode, can we just chat about them? Stereotypical teachers that, I mean, I've seen in my own.
I mean,
moment.
what teachers do we meet? Are we talking like first
The history teacher.
the history teacher who is
Like, he's got to be a Vietnam vet, like, or something, because he
Oh.
like got all eye buggy about
He's
it.
like-
He scared me.
His
He made
eyes
me
are wide. He
uncomfortable.
shakes. His shoulders are up, and he's like, "I'm gonna ask you a question on your first day." Like that guy.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna test you.
Mr. DiMartino.
Yeah,
So he's the history teacher, and he's very intense.
yeah,
Is that pretty much his gist?
And he was mad at Daria because Daria knew all the answers.
yeah. So it's like the teacher that wants to test you because they know more than them. It's the power trippy teacher, like, and doesn't like smart kids. My brother Jack is super smart, and he had teachers that gave him detention once because he corrected their spelling.
One time in math class, you'll like this, Claire.
Oh, I
'cause
love
it's
it.
about math class.
I love math.
So back when we were in high school, they had those sweet TI-86 calculators. Are those a thing still?
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't TI-86 unless it was. And
It
the TI-86
was.
is God.
It's definitely TI-86.
Oh, TI-86s are still amazing. And TI-83s and TI-84s. They're like the one technology that hasn't like changed because they don't want them to connect to the internet because they can't use them for standardized testing. So they've stayed the same price point of like $120.
Dang.
So you can I could steal that TI-86 if you have it.
I don't have that anymore.
Dang, I would totally bring it to work.
Do kids still, because I used to, tangent of my story, we used to write like programs within the TI-86. So in math, we were doing like, solving for the variables.
Yeah.
Solve for one variable, solve for two, solve for three, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We just made programs, and then on the test, it would say, on our calculator, we just go into the program, and then it would say, enter in Y, and you like, at X,
Did
Y.
the teachers make you show your work then?
Not at that point, because we were in really high math.
Yeah. No.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Then that's absolutely correct. But although there's a lot of teachers that would be so upset about that.
Well, we had to write that program. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
I know.
we didn't, whatever. So that was fun. But
that's not your math story?
No,
that's a really good story.
But my math story is about like teachers like not liking smart people and stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
I used to get in trouble all the time for like talking in class and like not paying attention and stuff. And then we had, at the end of the year, I had a math teacher in like 10th grade, 11th grade. I don't remember which one. She gave everybody awards at the end of the year. Like, oh, you were like a class clown. You like added the best. You like had the prettiest hair.
But you remember it, so this is a good teacher, unless she's about to be really mean.
I don't know anything about this teacher in my mind. I remember this part of this whole class.
Okay.
And she then, so she's like, all the awards. Also, we didn't know she was giving an award to everybody. She's just giving awards out. But in the end, it was like, oh, you just gave everybody an award kind of thing.
You kind of have to.
Well, you know what? Not everyone deserves an award, But so we did it, and then she was like, 2 best students in class, like the number one and number 2 people in class. And I literally in class, I was like, oh, cool, so I don't get an award. Like, I like literally said that. I was like, you've been hounding me all year, like about shit. And like now you're handing out this, so there's no more awards. And then like the number 1 student was, sorry, no offense to everybody out there, but it was an Asian girl and me. I remember that. And I was like, oh shit, I won. And so my first thing I said to her was, you've been yelling at me for playing. I'm dying right now.
You're so emotional.
I was like, you've been yelling at me for playing what are they called, calculator games all year. Like, you've been like, pay attention, stop playing calculator games, like be a part of class, blah blah blah. You've been yelling at me all year long, and I'm your best fucking student. Like, why do you think I ain't paying attention? I don't need to pay attention.
No, but if you had added to the class, you would have been really dynamic present. So like, I'm sure
But
that's
I
why
wasn't
the
in
teacher argued that.
But I wasn't in class for the other students. I was in class so I could learn.
I understand that, but by teaching others, it's the most positive way of learning. You don't remember anything about the class.
I remember I can answer all the math questions probably.
Well, who doesn't love algebra? It's so fun.
But like, I mean, I don't know if it was algebra.
Joe's face.
Yeah, it was probably algebra or like calculus 1 or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, because it wasn't trigonometry. We'll get back to Daria soon, guys. But like,
so you got number 2. That's kind of a rough award.
I don't know. I
wouldn't do
got
that.
One. I got 1 or 2. I think she said like
never
top
best
2. Okay, yeah.
I would never do a number 1, number 2 in a class.
I don't think she gave like number 1 goes to, number 2 goes to.
Okay, I thought
like,
yeah.
She just said like the like top 2, and she didn't. I don't think she told us who the top 2 were. Like,
yeah.
But I was definitely one of the top 2, and I got hounded all year because I wasn't participating.
I'm sure if any of my students found this podcast, they should tweet in about all the hounding that I do, because they would say that I do that all the time.
At FNL Podcast.
Feel free to learn how to tweet.
If you were in Josh's math class, like, tweeted us to verify the story.
Yes. Do we believe that he was number 1 or number 2?
If you were the Asian girl in Josh's math class.
I probably know who that girl was, but I obviously wouldn't say her name just randomly.
Send her an email. Have her listen to the pod. I don't know.
You just be like, hey, math buddy, remember me?
Yeah, I'll look back. See, there was only like email then. Like, you know, just like,
Well,
like
everybody's
AOL.
their name at gmail.com.
Well, that's true because back then everyone was their name at AOL. So
No, everybody. I had a weird name at AOL.
oh yeah, that was back in the day when you had internet names. You had internet personas,
Yeah.
essentially screen names.
Oh yeah, the screen name.
So Daria.
What do you think her screen name is?
Silence. I don't know. Probably it was like Edgar Allan Poe bullshit.
All
Like,
right, I'm sure that comes up.
Quote,
Maybe
like, quote the Raven 92.
Yeah, that'd be great if they had AIM by the end.
Forevermore.
they definitely would.
Oh man.
I just like Daria, man. I just like Daria. I like Jane. I love that. I mean, I love that. It's so funny, like this being an esteem episode where it's like everybody in Daria's family essentially has no self-esteem besides Daria.
Yeah, they're
Like,
all
really?
very like on edge and trying to prove that they're doing the right thing. Even their parents are trying to prove to themselves that they're parenting right.
Yeah. Like, and so Daria gets to bring them to all these things that they hate.
Well, because that's what her mom does. Like, I thought that was so interesting because the mom's like, okay, I got to work on your self-esteem. We're going to do something that you really like. And it's like them going shopping for the mom.
Yeah. But again, because the mom needs to build up her own self-esteem.
Well, yeah, and
like
because-
Daria's trying to build her up.
Well, and the fact that Daria's role in this family is not to be her. It's to be what the parents want her to be. And this is how you are that kind of person. Like, you like shopping. You like these things.
Daria doesn't necessarily even need to be what they want her to be. She just needs to, like, basically tell them she's, like, doing good.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, and
they
show
don't,
them.
They don't care enough even to, like, check in. They'll surface level everything with her. Be
Yeah.
like, how are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm ahead of the cheerleading squad. You're like, awesome, Daria. And she could never go there ever. And I
Yeah.
don't think they'd care.
Because again, it's about a reflection upon them. It's not really about the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Man, parenting.
Is this show going to be more about the family and the parents in the end than Daria?
I don't know. Is she staying in high school for 5 years?
I don't know.
Because she's definitely not a freshman now.
I think time progresses.
Yeah, I'm going with time.
I guess
I don't know,
my prediction has to do with the end of high school.
And
So I guess I don't think that they'd go year by year.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think your cardinal sin is saying that every season's a year. Because that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
It wasn't true in Friday Night Lights.
I didn't see that.
I know.
I read the book, though. Good book.
Good book.
Good book.
Like football books.
I like books about things. And that's
Cool.
a book about things.
I actually like books that are not about things. Like, it's kind of more my jam.
Example.
I don't know.
I was really racking my brain. To
I don't
think of
read books. What do you think this is?
it.
Last book I
Oh,
read was Ender's Game in 1999.
That's not true. You read like half of a book and then the rest. Listen
Yeah,
to the rest.
that's not a book.
That's true.
You read a magazine that one time in the doctor's office, Joe.
You read half a book.
Come on. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys got? What do you want to? What do you got here? What do you got about the
What do you
Dars?
think about the like the self-esteem teacher, Mr.
Oh,
Mr.
we
O'Neill?
forgot about him.
Yeah, sorry.
Because you talked about Mr. Martino and how he's very intense, but Mr. O'Neill is like very much trying to encourage the kids and like.
Okay, that's bullshit. He's not actually trying to encourage the kids.
Okay, what's he
He's
doing?
the teacher who reads the script and says, you should be happy. Here's how to be happy. Take breaths and do all these things, but really doesn't engage with the students and actually try to get to know them.
You didn't think that at the end when Jane and Daria passed the class that he wasn't genuinely excited for them?
Yes, but he doesn't actually understand their needs and he doesn't actually understand their social emotional issues at the time.
I mean, obviously he doesn't care because he thinks Jane is Daria. Because at the end he goes, Daria, wait, and he ran after Jane and Daria stood.
I mean, it's the kind of teacher that cares about things for themselves. Like, my students' success is my success, right?
I guess I read the teacher differently. I read him as someone who is trying very hard and is trying to do the right thing, but just doesn't understand.
See, you've seen a lot more of the show than I have.
I
But in
guess,
this
yeah.
episode, what I saw, especially because she was like, and the other kid was trying to seek help and he was like, sure, do that. And it just was so not genuine. And back to like, well, I can't answer your question, but I know this script and I'm going to keep talking. Like, I can't actually help you with your
Yeah, he's not
issue.
equipped to help.
No.
I'm definitely more on Claire's level with this guy than
Yeah.
what you thought. just based on how he called on that one kid in class, and he was like, yes, you, like, he's not even like, there's 4 kids in class, and he like didn't even know any of their names.
Yeah.
And then when he read that first thing on the first day, Jane was like, oh, he's like, you made him go off script. Like, she like said something like that.
Yeah.
So he just doesn't, I mean, I don't necessarily think he doesn't like not care. He just has like, he just doesn't know what to do, and isn't like, he like cares when he's right there, but like I think when he goes home, then it's done, you know. And it's not like it's not like a desk job at like a IT company, you know. That's like a weird thing that you probably care about, and I think he just goes home and he goes, the school doesn't exist.
I was definitely a little jealous of the school funding, because if they're able to fund a class for 4 kids about self-esteem, then they got some extra money sitting around, and I was pretty jealous about that.
Well, I mean, the Morgendorf's house is pretty huge, so it seems
agree.
like that school district is pretty nice.
Yeah, but even that, I was like, wow, they have a lot of school funding for excess classes.
What do you guys think about when they went to Pizza Forest? It seemed fun.
I loved Circus growing up.
What's Circus?
That was the one. It was like Chuck E.
I didn't have
Cheese.
that.
There was a thing called Circus.
Isn't like Broadway Pizza a thing up here?
Like, it's in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
There's like a train in it.
Is that one have animatronics?
No.
Because I mean, I just assumed that because they had people walking around in suits in the forest one, I just
Pizza
assumed
Forest.
that it also was, there was an animatronic band somewhere.
Yeah,
Like,
for some
yeah.
reason I did too. Yeah.
Did you guys have a Mr. Gaddy's?
No.
Oh,
I was like, no, I didn't have that teacher, Claire.
No, it was a pizza place with like a pizza, like all you could eat pizza bar, but then they had like, I don't know if they had animatronic animals or anything, but they had like an arcade, and I would always get like the prizes that were like magic tricks.
Okay.
Anyway, but I thought it was really funny that she was planning on doing things that her family would hate, because they make her do things that she hates all the time. And so it was like, I really want to go to this childhood memory spot. And that's terrible. It sounds terrible. But then they had to sit there and fake like it was nice, because that was what she wanted to do.
You think that was her point? Was like, you guys don't actually care about me, so I'm just going to make you do a thing that you're going to hate?
Well, that's what she said.
She said that?
She said that. She's like, I'm going to go make my parents do things that they're going to hate doing. To her teacher.
I think she's having fun making her parents do things that they don't like, because no matter what, she knows they're gonna do them, because not because they're not doing them because they like love her and they want her to feel good. They're doing it because they're her parents and they think that they have to do these things to look good.
Yeah.
So I think, like, I mean, that's what I got. Like, she's messing with them. She wouldn't be messing with them if they were like good parents that like loved her and wanted to be interested in the things that she was interested in.
Because good parents would know to be like, okay, you don't actually want to go to Pizza Forest. Like, what do you want to do?
Well, yeah.
Or like, what can I do for you?
A good parent would know what she's actually into.
Yeah.
I feel like
the thing is, she's into like making them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. But none of us are parents, so we don't really know. By the way, I like to just throw it out there. We don't know.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot the disclaimer. None of us are parents. Just
well,
FYI.
I don't like to throw shade on parenting when I haven't been one
Not
myself.
even cartoon parents?
Not even cartoon
They're not even
parents.
real people, Claire.
I have to say my favorite, and I wrote down on my paper, boss move, was that Daria had overheard her sister claiming that she was an only child in the hallway of school. And then when she graduated class of her self-esteem class, which they had an assembly for, which is ridiculous.
Well, it wasn't just for them.
Yeah, but still.
They like got to announce it also at the assembly.
But they like got up, and it was like, again, a moment of pure like narcissism in some ways, where she's like, I know you're gonna hate this and I'm gonna do it, because she like called out her sister for thanking, like, thank you so much for caring about me. And then the sister was just trying to like be cool with the guys. Oh, that was such a boss move.
I think that's going to matter maybe like in the first half of the second episode, and then it's not really a big deal. Because I think that's a thing. Daria's just going to do that over and over. And over
And I think that's why I like Daria's character, because she understands how people think, and nobody really understands how she thinks. And I think that when you have the power of understanding other people and they don't understand you, it's a big power, and you can you can kind of throw it around a little bit.
Well, I mean, I think it's going to end up being that Daria is going to end up being somebody who, like, everyone around her is so self-absorbed they don't care about whatever, like, that stuff around them. They just care about looking good and, like, doing their own thing.
But I don't know how this character is going to progress. And, like, I don't know, like, are they going to keep her this, like, savvy the whole time or cynical the whole time? Or because there's got to be, like, ebbs and flow in the storyline. Like, there's got to be moments of happiness and moments of sadness. Like, I don't know. I assume.
I bet so, but I think the core, like, just dry, I'm going to mess with you, Daria, I think that's going to stay the whole time.
I would watch this if it was all that.
What's your read on Jane at this point? Daria's friend Jane.
Oh, I think Jane's outfit's on point. Like, I really like her little shorts and blazer moment.
Yeah, she's got like a red blazer, and like black shorts, and then like some black boots.
I think that she's very similar to Daria in the fact that she is like not in with the crowd, but I think that Daria has a better sense of like judging people. Like, she's maybe a little more fragile than Daria, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's just what I think. Like, I don't know. What do you think, Josh?
Jane's dope. I hope she becomes an architect one day.
Jane the architect?
Yeah.
She kind of looks like Carmen Sandiego, maybe.
She's just missing that big red hat.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong.
I wonder if we're going to play some sort of geography game in the last episode to find out where Jane went.
Cool.
Will there be?
You promise?
I mean, if she's not there, we can try to figure it out, I guess. Should we dive into predictions?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, this was hard.
Joe, you got some?
Yeah, Joe.
I've got, so yeah, my last episode surrounds graduation, and Daria is giving the graduation speech. Valedictorian speech. Claire made a comment about how every time at the Morgendorfers' dinner, they're always eating lasagna.
They are.
Like 4 times in a row, just eating lasagna. So I don't know that it's necessarily the Morgendorfer family, but I put that characters eat lasagna in this episode.
There will be lasagna.
There will be lasagna because I just feel like it's like.
I hope it's like spaghetti now. Like
they change it
They
up.
got some more cash for the animation and they upped it to spaghetti.
More lines.
I have that Mr. O'Neill, who is the self-esteem teacher, is in like a really dark place. He's like he's either depressed or like he's just got a rough time. Maybe he's got a beard, but he's not looking good. And then there's a thing in this episode where they had like Daria and Jane watching Six Sad World, a TV
Sad
show.
World.
Mm-hmm.
Where they found out about like the Alien Fest thing. And I think that Six Sad World like shows up as a clip in the last episode. I think it's a thing.
I kind of wanted like the last episode. I still want Beavis and Butthead to be in the show.
Yeah.
This isn't a prediction of mine, but I was saying I wanted them to be on Six Sad World in the last episode.
I'm intrigued.
So if that happens, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, they also brought up Six Sad World in the synopsis that you said, Joe, or that you read, Josh, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So like that's a pretty.
It's like both Daria and Jane's like favorite show.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good predict, and you've seen the show though.
Yeah.
All right, I got some. Number 1, I think this is a prom / school dance episode.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Something like that. I also then think Jane has a girlfriend.
Oh.
Okay.
Third one, I think Daria goes to college or is like packing for college.
Mhm.
She's on her way to college.
Do you
I don't think
understand?
she's in college
So
yet.
prom and college in one episode.
Yeah, I think everything's happening.
Yeah.
Everything. Okay.
And then I also believe that someone rides a horse in this episode.
Okay.
Is there a
and-
cowboy hat?
No, just well,
A horse seems difficult to animate. I don't know.
I said someone rides a horse, and this isn't part, but if I had to guess who, I'd say Quinn rides a horse.
I could see her on a horse.
Is Quinn the sister?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So those are my 4.
Is that a Dr. Quinn
she's
reference?
So
No,
on the
but I
horse.
like it.
Okay, so I thought that it was really hard to do predictions for the show, and I know you guys both know that because I was moaning about it. But
Yeah, watching the show, she's like, ooh.
it was hard. I don't know.
Ooh.
So the first one I put down is that Daria and her sister, so it's Quinn, will work together to trick the parents. So it's like a high school thing where they have to trick the parents to get what they want. Does that make sense?
Yep, we'll
Is that
know.
specific
We'll know
enough?
we'll know when we see it.
Okay, yeah, they're working together to pull off some sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Like the parents go out of town and they want to pull a party, but they got to work together to make sure the parents
I
don't
just
figure
feel
it
like
out.
there's gonna be some sort of like working together with the sibling because that would be a good end cap because they don't really get along. So like maybe that's a way to build that bond. But maybe I'm completely wrong. I also put down graduation. But then when Joe, you said that, I decided I had to up the ante and make mine more specific. And I said that the history teacher is going to be the speaker, like the teacher speaker at graduation. And he's going to be scary. I also have that the parents kick out Daria. That was a different moment. Not going along with the first one. But I felt like if I spread out the points.
Okay. Just
like,
cover your bases.
Covering the spread here. So like the parents are going to kick out Daria.
Really going for it.
Like they're done. And then my last one is really like not going to happen, but I'm going to try it anyway. And that Daria and Jane are going to fight an octopus monster.
Together?
Together.
Interesting.
There will be an octopus monster.
I am going to be the most happy human in the entire world if somehow Daria fights an octopus monster alone
by herself.
And I'm gonna flip a table.
Don't do it because I'm gonna get the points.
Jane's like, you need help, and Daria's like, no, I got it by myself.
I got it. I love fighting this by myself. It's my favorite thing. All right. Well, hey, let's see who fights what in the last episode of Daria, shall we?
Let's go
get
watch.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Daria's done. We finished Daria. She's done. She died.
She's
Did
okay.
not.
She's fine.
She didn't die.
She's okay, viewers.
She's okay. But guess what, guys? We watched episode last of Daria called Boxing Daria. A large refrigerator box revives painful remembrances in Daria that suggests that she is a burden on her parents by being herself.
Wow. That one sentence is a lot.
So just FYI, Joe. So that was just kind of the end. That was the end of Daria.
Mm-hmm.
There was films.
What?
Yeah, I'm seeing that as I'm like looking around your shoulder.
There was one film after it, and it was called. Well, there's one film before this in 2000 called "Is It Fall Yet?" Which I don't know. Probably just probably a seasonal film for Daria. But then there was one in January 1st, 2002, about 7 months after Daria ended. And it's called "Is It College Yet?"
So is this like films that were like just on MTV or are they like in the theater?
I don't know the answer for that. I don't have your answer.
I bet it's just MTV.
I'm Googling right now.
It wasn't big enough to have a wide release in a theater.
Yeah, it probably wasn't like nationwide release. Daria.
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, you know, you drive a hard argument, Claire. Maybe.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, cool.
Fair.
Yeah.
2 tickets for Daria, please.
One ticket for Daria. I do things alone. But yeah, so that was it. I mean, essentially, Daria. They got a new refrigerator. There's a refrigerator box left in their yard by the refrigerator guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then she remembered that their parents were fighting about her. And then she talked to her parents about it, and they didn't want to talk to her about it. And then she was like, "No, talk to me about this."
Mm-hmm.
And then
They talked to her about it.
And they were like, "Yeah, it was a rough time. We were all trying to work really hard, and you were weird."
Mm-hmm.
And so then we fought about you, and then the next day it was fine. And then she was like, "Cool." And then she was having a weird back and forth with her boyfriend, Tom Green. What was her boyfriend?
I don't remember.
Yeah, his name was Tom.
Tom.
But yeah, it's like her parents kind of even explained that, like, because he left town to be with his family, and she was invited but didn't want to go. And then her parents were like, "Yeah, you just kind of don't like to be social, and we know that about you. Just like you don't go here and you don't do school tours and whatever."
I kind of like the idea. I don't know if Daria got canceled or they knew it was going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the idea that they knew, like, this is just going to be our last episode. And they were like, no, let's just do a regular episode and make it be weird, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because they did do a callback from episode 1 with her doing the Rorschach test. And the teacher, or the lady presenting the Rorschach test is the one that said, like, oh, this is like a rambling hills of unicorns running through the prairie or whatever the
Yeah.
sentence was.
Yeah.
So there was a callback. Like they did bookend it.
Yeah.
So I just like that there was no, there wasn't a prom or college.
Yeah, it
or
wasn't
anything.
graduation even. It didn't seem like it was the end of that school year.
It was just like business as usual, but it was just like, yeah, it's Daria.
Mhm.
I thought it kind of like made it seem like, yeah, you're gonna have these weird emotional moments in your life and you're gonna have rough times with your family, but you're gonna still move on and still have relationships with others. It was like a really like, it was just like a smart way to end a show, and it was a smart like teenager thing. Like it wasn't like there was an octopus monster or anything dramatic that happened. It was like, oh, this thing happened. It sparked some memories that were hard for me to realize, and I had to figure out who I could talk to about it and then move forward. It's something that like every teenager has to deal with.
Because it turned out that she could talk to Jane about it. She was trying to drive out to where Tom was at some cabin or something. But then she like got into a little car accident, and then Jane had to go pick her up, and they got to talk about stuff.
Yeah. It's good.
She did learn like some sort of lesson about like putting herself out there a little bit and like doing things she doesn't want to do, somewhat, because she was teaching or showing the freshman kids around.
Well, and I also think that it was her coming to grips with like, I wasn't an easy child. Like I keep giving my parents this hard time for being terrible parents, but I was a hard kid that they were getting called from the school all the time, and I wasn't making friends, and I was a source of, anxiety for my parents.
You wonder if someone like weird like Daria would have grown up to be okay. Like she's okay, She knows who she is. She's very confident in that. She just doesn't care. She cares about other people. She just doesn't like want to deal with other people and be around other people, She's got her group. And that's what she wants to do. And this makes me wonder whether or not like all that stuff of the school calling home all the time and her parents just being how they were, like, and everything, like it's just interesting nature versus nurture scenario. Like,
I mean, like, did all that help or what?
Like just people worrying about Daria all the time and her having to deal with like the school getting called and having to like deal with all those like parent teacher like conferences and stuff.
To, like make her turn in even more.
Well,
or just like she knew even though like her personality goes, this is annoying and I don't care about this, but she grew up then knowing like, wow, everybody around me like actually cares about me, like like in a weird way.
I see a little bit differently of that. And one, I think that a person like this can totally grow up to be great. And I think what's this episode shows is that schools and things like that have safety nets to identify people who have personality differences at a young age. Like we want to have people that are socializing. And even though she has a friend in high school, like that's not necessarily the best in life. But she's obviously made a community impact, and she has all these people around her now and like has a safe space. Now, I think that what this shows you is that the parents weren't trying to help the child. The parents were trying to help themselves. They just wanted a perfect kid, and they didn't want a kid with problems. At least that's how I viewed it. And so in this situation, she has to like say, hey, I was like kind of almost forgive her parents, and then is able to move on. Because the episode in itself isn't about Daria and her behavior. It's about how her parents reacted to her behavior. I'm probably overthinking this because I deal with children.
No, I mean, you're right. I just don't know whether or not, I mean, I know people were concerned with her, but I don't think it's saying that. I think it's dealing with like Daria looking at how her parents are reacting to her behavior. I think that's kind of what's happening, but I don't think it's going as deep as saying like, oh, she might not be okay because she doesn't have kids or she acts weird, because I don't think Daria only having like one or two friends in high school. She's like her boyfriend and her friend Jane now, but she only had Jane in the first episode. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think she is totally cool and fine, like in reality, and she's just like, okay, she's just not a person that wants a lot of friends. There's just people like that.
Yeah.
And they're not weird or different. I just think that's just not like the ideal like outward way people
act
or like say you want a big group of friends. You want everybody. You want like,
Well, I would just say like her attitude and things like that are not necessarily something that's very employable in a lot of fields. So that's one of the things that schools have to look at.
This is about getting a job.
Well, that's what things schools always look at is like transition skills and like going forward. So when we like look at a kid and we notice that there's something, a challenge, it's not necessarily about the moment. It's like about their future. Like
transition skills is our school's now finally teaching kids how to like balance checkbooks and like actually talk to people.
I literally had a budgeting lesson today. But that's one of the things that schools, yes, the state of Minnesota is required to have kids actually pay attention to that. We do PGP activities.
What's a PGP?
Personal growth plan. So we just like require kids.
This must be new.
It is new, but it's a pain in the butt to make sure kids do it before they graduate. But there is a lot more talk about that than I think there was in this time in the 90s and the 2000s.
I mean, there definitely wasn't talk in real schools about it.
Yeah.
Or else I missed it in school.
But I think it's interesting that someone who wrote this would, I don't know, I think that I want to watch some more of this because the 2 episodes I did see were pretty insightful in the way that high schoolers think and also the way adults think about high schoolers.
Part of me, Claire, thinks that you are going to try to overlook the fact that this is a creepy cartoon.
I mean, I didn't see anybody's hair move.
Nobody's hair moved.
No,
Their
and the eyes.
Why is Jane
so-
wearing the same thing from the first
Their
episode?
eyes were
It's weird.
so dead.
Okay, so you obviously understand why I fear cartoons. It's weird.
No, we think those are funny things and they're not issues. But I think what you're thinking is, as a teacher, you're like, I want to watch this show because I want to like weirdly understand like the things that like kids and people thought about in the night. Because I feel like the show's pretty spot on about the late 90s, early 2000s stuff. But I think you can relate that to your job today.
It's definitely not something I thought about when I was watching this as a kid. It's more of just like, she's funny. She's mad at everything.
Well, I think as a kid you were like, yeah, fuck her parents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You do you, Daria.
Yeah, I think that it was just an interesting way of seeing things, and it was forward thinking more than I would have ever expected from an MTV cartoon.
Oh, it's definitely got to be forward thinking because, I mean, Joe said it before we even watched episode 1, but he said, like, I think all of this holds up and, like, they pretty much stick it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even to today, they still essentially stick it.
Yeah.
You know, like, this can be relatable for probably a lot of American families.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. I think it's also just kind of interesting because of the times. Like, if you think about the shows and the TV shows that were on and the movies that were cool at that time, and maybe I had like a different type of shows. See, I was not thinking Matrix. I was thinking more like Clueless and
The Notebook.
The Notebook's like way later.
The Matrix.
No, I'm not. No,
Sorry,
so wrong.
Can't hardly wait.
Matrix.
Can't Hardly
Revolutions.
Wait, or what's that one? I Know What You Did Last Summer, or that
She's
sort of
All That.
thing. They're all like these rich white families, and like they're all like, "Oh, I'm so perfect."
You know, I What You Did Last Summer. I Know What You Did Last Summer is a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
It's the guy with the fish hook.
I remember that one.
Okay.
It's,
Yeah, the kids did something very bad last summer.
Scream.
10 Things I Hate About You.
are you
think
just
you-
naming movies?
I think you cut too deep, bro.
Oh
That
my
guy's in
God.
Scooby-Doo.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that movie. It's so terrible. But
Joe and Claire went on a Scooby-Doo binge for their
no,
viewers.
that's not how it works.
Joe and Claire's favorite
Joe
movie
left.
is Scooby-Doo, the real movie.
Joe left the movie
Colin,
on.
the real movie?
Yeah, Scooby-Doo, the real movie.
It was so bad, but like so bad that I couldn't stop watching. Anyway, back to Daria. Joe, did you remember this episode when you first started watching it?
No. I remember Tom existing, and that's about it. That seemed familiar from this episode.
Tom was the teacher, right?
No,
No.
that was the
No,
boyfriend.
sorry. What was the teacher's name? The esteem teacher?
Mr.
Mr.
O'Neill.
Yeah, Mr. Jur Anil. He definitely, like, from your, like, thought about what you thought about him in the first episode, he definitely comes back in this episode
And
goes,
is much
like,
more that.
and is
yeah.
much more, I like, care, and I want to, like, kind of be involved.
It makes
And
way
not
more
reading for a
sense
script.
why you were like, don't you see how much he cares? And I was like, no, he looks dumb and uninterested. And now I could see, like, his whole character was, I care about you and just want you involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of see how that character could be pretty interesting, playing in the same, like, zone as Daria.
Yeah.
Like how that could be a struggle for her to deal with a guy like that. But
They're very yin and yang. It's fun.
Yeah.
I can see how they can play off each other very well. I can see it. I can hear it, but I don't think the microphones can hear it. But my lady friend is watching Jersey Shore in the other room, and I heard like Jersey Shore shit.
you just heard some fist pumping.
Cabs are here.
Man, Jersey Shore. Do you think that they would like Daria, the Jersey Shore characters? Can we Google that? Like, are they big Daria fans?
Jersey Shore Daria
does
crossover?
Pauly D like
Yeah.
Daria? You want me to type that in Google right now?
There's gotta be a connection. They're both on MTV.
Just text him.
I'll text Pauly D right now.
Yo,
you guys
don't worry
texting
about it.
PD.
friends?
Oh, me and Pauly D? Oh, yeah.
PD, dude, Daria.
Does Pauly
Oh my gosh.
D like Daria? Let's see what comes up. My first Google thing is, did you mean does Pauly D like Dina? Which is a Jersey Shore person. And then the Daria Wikipedia comes up next. So
Did I see the word reboot?
inconclusive.
Oh, Daria among slate of reboots being
Ugh.
shopped as MTV launches studio.
And that was June 21st, 2018. I see that. Stop rebooting things.
Ruining our podcast.
You're really hurting how we do things.
Also, that's not a reboot if you just like start something up again.
It's a
Isn't that what
no,
a
that-
reboot
no,
is?
that's a reboot.
No, do you know what like a reboot is in terms of like computers? Like you like start the thing over.
Yeah, so you're starting over Daria.
So like they're gonna go back to episode 1 and like
Oh,
rewrite her
you're
whole
meaning
story.
it like
Well,
that.
because I would
Yeah.
call that a remake.
That's a remake
You
of
think
a TV
remake is
show.
just starting something up again?
Okay,
Like
so,
right from right where you left off?
so like
That's a reboot.
You think that's a reboot?
Well, what word are you gonna give it?
It's just another season. Let's just continuing.
Oh, so you don't like that it's like, we're rebooting the show. We're restarting it. We're going to start season 5. Or
Yeah.
well, that's what I think.
And
that
it should
would
just be like what should you call that? What,
Like if I was working on a jigsaw
season
puzzle,
5 premiere?
if I was working on a jigsaw puzzle and like did some tonight and then did some tomorrow, and tomorrow I was like, I'm gonna reboot this puzzle. You wouldn't think like,
How
oh,
about
you're gonna
this?
start over?
How about this? What if you did 75% of this jigsaw puzzle,
Yeah.
and then you kept it on a table for 15 years, and then you came back to it?
I would call it a reboot. You're back to doing it again.
You know what? After 15 years, I might actually reboot it and just
Start
mix it up again and start over.
I mean,
By then, I would have stolen some pieces, and you'd have been real pissed.
I guess that you don't restart. I guess they don't say like that's not the industry lingo. You
Yeah.
don't restart it. There's a remake and there's a reboot.
yeah,
And a remake means if you're remaking Daria, you're going season 1, introducing this is Daria.
Yeah.
Like season 1 again.
And that would be
that
terrible.
would be called Daria 2018.
yeah,
You'd have to do Daria and then in parentheses write 2018, kind of thing.
yeah. Well, think of it this way: like if you're at work and something's going wrong with your computer and you call IT, and they're like, "All right, why don't you try rebooting your computer?" Would you just be like, "All right, cool, it's already on. I'm just gonna keep it running. I've rebooted."
Why not?
Except, I mean,
So would
well, what I'm-
restart make you feel better if we called it a restart?
Reboot and restart are essentially the same to me.
I know, but like that's I'm trying to like get
But if
past
they-
your like
but
hate
here's
of
the
the
deal.
word.
here's the deal. If I call IT and they
Yeah.
say reboot your computer, I'm going to turn my computer off
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to turn it back on and I'm going to start using my computer from the last time I had started using it. I'm not changing anything. It's just continuing to go. But if they told me
Yeah.
to remake my computer, I'd have to hit it with a sledgehammer and then piece it back together.
No, but because when you're
Mm.
right, Josh, because when I reboot, it's like start from where you last left off, and it like opens up my 900 tabs, and I'm like, absolutely.
Because reboot is the same as saying, would you restart your computer? I mean, that's a synonymous scenario.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, you need to create a better term so we can stop saying reboot.
Cash grab? How's cash grab?
Yeah, I'm into it.
This hat of yours is really giving you clever ideas.
I got some thoughts.
I don't like backwards hat, one clasp Joe over here.
I just
He
need
really hates
need
words.
a bigger hat.
He needs a bigger hat. Well, hey guys, I think we all liked Daria though.
I think so.
I didn't, cards on the table. I didn't enjoy this first and last. Like the
Wow.
literally the first and last episodes weren't as enjoyable as I thought they were going to be. They're a little bit heavier than I thought, but I want to watch more of it because I remember it being fun.
I like the fact that it is like both of these episodes were heavy, like kind of thing. They were heavy episodes and they were funny. You know, I still like that Frasier balance. I think Daria's got a little bit of that Frasier balance.
I think so. Yeah, it's got that Frasier balance.
And then as far as a first and last go, they had a bookmark, which is a very important thing to my heart after 55 goddamn TV shows. No, 50. It'd be 53. We had 2 first and last season there. I love any form of callback, and it's still to this day, like this one even tonight made me go, man, 5 years they held on to something, or like or they were like, make sure you write something in, like they like it's important to people because they know that people have been following it, that they might just remember that kind of thing. And then I do like how the last episode of this one just seemed like a normal episode, but the way Daria works, it just seemed like it worked really well.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a big, this is over. It was just like, but that's very Daria, in my opinion.
I could see that, yeah. It felt right.
I still am a little weirded out by the whole cartoon aspect, but that's a personal problem.
What if they reboot it but with his like live action Daria?
No,
live action Daria? That'd be real
that's
weird.
like Scooby-Doo, and that's even worse.
Who could you cast as a live action Daria?
Zooey Deschanel.
Is that who you'd pick?
She kind of looks like her.
No, I would not pick Zooey Deschanel.
She doesn't act like her, but she kind of looks like her.
I need, like, what's that
Eliza
character?
Dushku.
What? Why?
I don't even know who that is.
I'm just naming brown-haired girls. Brunettes, if you will.
She has to have like the air of like being smart. Like she's got to look smart.
Wow.
Right?
That's subjective.
It is subjective, but like, you know, I mean, I feel like you know it when you see it. When you think of certain actors, you think of them as like smart, even though you don't know anything about like their intelligence.
Give me an example of who you think is smart.
Let me think. Like Bryan
smart.
Cranston. You think of as a smart guy, actor, but not the same for.
I agree with Joe. You're making weird looks, Claire. I agree. Bryan Cranston is smart. Everybody tweet Bryan Cranston. We think he's smart.
But like, if I say picture, am I like sitting here like, wow, he's smart? I don't think so.
I think so.
I would say that looks like a smart
so
guy.
So what girl with brown hair isn't smart enough for you? You're saying Zooey Deschanel.
I don't get it for Zooey Deschanel. Maybe someone like Rashida Jones.
She seems smart.
Or Aubrey Plaza. There you go. Aubrey Plaza is Daria.
Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect.
Yeah. Do you know who that is?
No, I'm going to have to Google. I'm not good with names.
Have you seen Parks and Rec?
No.
Okay, well, then I can't help you. I don't know what to do.
That's pretty much it.
Have you seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
No.
I
haven't seen a lot of things. Like, throw out some, like, BBC or some PBS, and, like, I'm with you. But anyway.
Sorry, I don't know what PBS show Aubrey Plaza's been on recently.
Dude, I can't wait till I bring a PBS show.
Oh, my God. Hashtag Aubrey Plaza as Daria 2018.
Well,
when they
reboot it,
how big can hashtags
is it a
be?
Reboot if they make it with humans?
Yeah, well, that's a different thing. That's a remake.
But they don't start over. They like act like
that would be weird.
Wait, like they start the next season, but live action.
Yeah.
Like
is that
14 years after Daria's graduation.
She never graduated. I guess her movie might have.
She moved. Well, the movie was called
Is It College Yet?
Is It College Yet?
Well, did anybody earn any points?
Well, yeah. Let's dive into that. We've already done God's work by naming the new live action Daria. So, I'll do mine. Prom episode / school dance. Nope. Jane as a girlfriend. Nope. Daria goes to college. Nope. Someone rides a horse. I guess Quinn. Nope. So 0 points for me. Way to go. Good job, Josh.
I had that Daria and Quinn work together to trick parents. No, but they did work together. No, they didn't. It was no.
I'm not facing the microphone. No, they didn't.
No, they just did it. Graduation, no. Parents kick out Daria, no. Octopus monster, no.
No idea.
I have 0 points.
Daria gives a graduation speech. The characters eat lasagna. No lasagna. I kept an eye out.
I don't think they ate. Did they eat?
Yeah, I didn't see any
talked about
food.
carrots.
They had Jane and Daria had a cup of coffee, but no food.
They just got a new fridge, so maybe they hadn't gone grocery shopping yet.
Maybe.
Plausible.
Mr. O'Neill's in a dark place. No, he seems very with it. 6 sad world clip, which there was, so 1 point.
I feel like that's.
I don't even
Yeah,
remember.
that's pretty. It's a whack.
I don't
point.
even remember that clip.
I pointed it out, and then you were like, "I didn't say that."
Oh yeah. It was right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's why I got sucked into the reality of the show,
So real.
the live action.
What's the
Daria.
name of the actress who plays Jessica Jones?
I don't know her name.
Oh, well, she should be Jane.
She was Jane
What?
in Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why I'm thinking of that.
Yeah, maybe she'd do a
It's
good.
kind of a similar character.
She'd do a good Jane, like a pale, like whatever kind of girl.
Yeah,
Like what as like her attitude, not her.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be great. Aubrey Plaza and the girl who plays Jane in Breaking Bad, or Jessica Jones.
I just don't think
Let's
they
put
should
together
do this.
this reboot.
Concept
Oh my
is just
gosh.
no.
We were.
And also, these people are way too old to play high school.
That's why. Yeah, I mean, it's
Like,
not high
I'm
school anymore.
sorry.
It's they're probably
Yeah,
just
they're-
like
they're in
adults. Yeah.
bitchy adults.
Oh, just post college.
Yeah.
Post college Daria.
Do they have children?
I would.
No, they're just
no,
they're
no, no.
30-year-olds.
No, it's like Sex in the City with Daria.
They really would have some things to say about Tinder, I'm sure. Like, wouldn't be very positive.
Wouldn't be very pot positive. Is that what you said?
I don't know. I was trying
I'm
to
pretty
think.
sure both of these
Try to
characters would be very positive.
No. Oh, I can't talk. It's late, you guys.
It is late. Well, hey guys, let us know what you think about this live action reboot of Daria that we're putting together. We're gonna we'll put all our money together and we'll pay all these actors plenty of money.
Maybe like Rachel McAdams as Quinn.
Maybe Isla Fisher.
Isla Fisher.
Yeah.
Also good.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they have like similar voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Who's the dad?
They're way too old.
Bryan
Cranston.
Cranston.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
You can do anything.
So glad
Yeah,
he's so smart.
He's our generation's greatest actor. He can do anything.
He's not our generation.
He's our generation's greatest dad actor.
There you go. Perfect. Awesome. Well, hey guys, everybody, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Claire's yawning.
I'm not.
Yeah, she is. Joe's wearing a backwards hat.
It's my look now. This is me.
And-
Accept me.
Maybe we'll tweet a picture of Joe out eventually. Thank you, everybody, for this and whatnot. We'll see you next week on another episode of First and Last.
Bye.
Bye.